Olivia Rodrigo finally met her idol Taylor Swift at the 2021 Brit Awards, and we have all the details on the special moment. Hey guys, welcome back to another shared news from home. We have got to talk about the moment Olivia and Taylor finally met. But before we get into it, if you're new here, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. As always, I'm your host, Fiona Zaring, joined by the wonderful Denise Salcedo. Denise, this honestly is a huge deal. I personally am so happy for Olivia. When I saw this headline, I freaked out. Have you been following, her Taylor obsession, their blossoming friendship? Are you up to date on the Olivia and Taylor of it all?
All of it. All of it. You have no idea. I love Olivia. I'm so happy for her, okay? But I have to be honest with you. I am just like raging jealousy all over me because this girl is not only incredibly talented, she's kicking off her music career and she's doing it, already with driver's license, such a big hit. Her idol is Taylor Swift. And not only that, now she's like besties with Taylor Swift. I mean, they're exchanging notes, they're giving each other gifts. It's the dream. It's literally the dream. And I am happy for Olivia, but I'm also very, very jealous.
No, I totally get it. And the thing is, what's sort of interesting is like you mentioned driver's license, right? Everyone around the world is listening to that song. It is such a huge hit. But it feels like when you watch her do interviews, about these milestones she's reaching in her career, the milestones that seem to really mark success for her have been these moments, these interactions with Taylor Swift. Like that to her is like what feels like the success, those little moments here and there. It started with like the first little thing, built and built and built. You mentioned the notes, like they've mentioned each other in interviews. Taylor's referred to her as her child. Like to be a Swifty and to see that, I think it's just so crazy. But listen, if you grew up like we did listening to Taylor Swift, when you envision yourself as a potential success, of course it's going to be Taylor that's inspired you, been an influence. You can continue to look up to her. We could go on and on. Let's get into the moment that's been months, if not years, in the making. They've, of course, like we said, interacted on social media, had little moments here and there, but they finally met in person at the 2021 Brit Awards. Olivia shared a picture of the moment on Instagram, writing, "Brits or a dream, never want to leave." You can just tell from this adorable picture how special this moment was. I could not help but smile when I saw it.
Oh, and I like the fact too that, everybody always, tries to picture like, oh, what would my pose be with Taylor Swift herself if I ever got the chance? You see all of these really awesome fan photos. So I'm sure, Olivia was probably thinking like, what's my pose going to be? What are we going to do? And I think I expected a totally different picture from what we got, but I love the picture that they did because it's really just them being really cute, really adorable. Like, hey, we all know you guys are gonna fangirl, fanboy over this photo, and that's what they did. You have Olivia making this really cute expression, Taylor Swift blowing these kisses. I mean, it's really an adorable photo, and I think it really captured the moment. But I have to say though, this really was such a great night for Olivia. I mean, just not only meeting her hero, but her performance and all of that. I mean, I can't wait to get into that too because this really was her night.
Oh my gosh, it so was. I mean, I have to say, I would have killed. I think so many fans out there of Olivia's, of Taylor's, of the both of them would have killed to have been a fly on the wall for that moment. Honestly, I'm thinking about this. They didn't take one picture. She's not a fan of the meet and greet, right? Like, I do hope we get some more content because this is such a huge milestone for Olivia, for everyone keeping up with her. But you're right. The Taylor of it all aside, this was a huge night for her. She performed 3 of her hits from her upcoming album, Sour. Of course, there was Driver's License, but she did a rendition of Deja Vu and introduced a new song from the album called Good For You. You guys, she looked stunning. The performance was incredible. Let's check out a clip.
You're probably with that blonde girl who always made me doubt She's so much older than me.
Denise, I'm just blown away. I mean, she's such an incredible performer. She absolutely killed it up there. What are your takeaways from this performance?
I think this was a star-making performance. Literally just looking at her, seeing this, driver's license. But the way that she's doing it though is she's there, she's in her beautiful red dress. She's got this very like dim stage, but also with the butterflies and everything. But what really, really took me by not by surprise, but I think just kind of really hammered it home for me was that vocally she is very,
Mhm.
very impressive. That girl can sing, and I know it's one thing to listen to a song, to listen to the completed version of a track, but then to also get this live performance, it's a totally and completely different beast. And so I think she definitely conquered it. She came out here and she had poise, she had presence, and she sang her heart out and she knew it was her moment. And this was probably like one of her like really major performances. Obviously, due to the pandemic, we haven't been having performances or award shows, like we used to, where we get to see all of these big performances. So this really was an introduction to her live event style. And so I really liked what she presented. And I think she did a really, really good job. And whatever, if she was feeling nervous or she had any pressure riding on her, I don't think that it showed whatsoever.
I mean, listen, she was absolutely incredible up on that stage. And to your point about pressure, like, listen, she knew Taylor Swift was going to be there. She knew who she was performing in front of. And I mean, they have been compared so frequently in the media because Olivia is putting it out there that Taylor has been such an influence on her songwriting style. And I have to say, watching that performance, I kind of saw Taylor's influence there too, right? And that's a wonderful thing, in my opinion at least. What do you think of all these, comparisons that they get?
Well, when you think of all the accolades and all the awards and accomplishments and record breaking news that Taylor Swift has amassed throughout her entire career, it's not easy to get to that level. So, yes, it is a very nice comparison to have Olivia be compared to Taylor Swift. Now, obviously, we know that you can be compared, but it really is a whole lot of more work that it takes to get to that Taylor Swift level. But it is a very nice start, I'll tell you that much. And also, it just goes to show that artists like Taylor Swift really are influencing the younger, new, up and coming artists. And for me, that makes me very, very excited because as of, a follower of Taylor throughout her entire career, I want to know that more people are influenced by her so that they can come out with their own masterpiece, their own version. And, we got that obviously with Driver's License and just the way that Olivia sort of implemented that vulnerable side that Taylor Swift is known for in her songwriting. Olivia added to that. And obviously, it helps that she's this massive fan. She's been listening and studying Taylor's music. So, incorporating that into her own style of music, which I think personally is really, really it's a testament to Taylor and her work. It's an honor to sort of, have people trying to continue that legacy. And when you look back, years and years from now, you're gonna be like, who knows who the next big star is going to be in a couple of years from now? It could be Olivia, it could be somebody else or whoever, but it's nice to know that when these people start to get interviewed and you interviewer asks, "Hey, who are you most influenced by?" They're going to be saying people like Taylor Swift, your Lana Del Rey's, your Billie Eilish's, and so many others, and I think that's pretty awesome.
Oh, it totally is. And I mean, at the end of the day, this relationship that they've established, this bond that they have, it is very special. You can see if you look for it. Looks like Olivia brought Taylor a letter that you can kind of see in the picture. I mean, their bond is very special. It's definitely, I think, going to continue as their careers evolve. Who knows? Maybe one day we'll get a collab. I mean, the possibilities are endless.
I can definitely see, hopefully, maybe a collaboration or even just also like, Taylor brings on a lot of guests for her tours, and we saw it in the 1989 World Tour. We've seen it in the Reputation Stadium Tour, and so on. So I can definitely see Olivia hopping on to her next tour when Taylor is, singing like from 20 different new albums all in one tour. But I can definitely see Olivia being included in that. And I love the fact that she wrote her back this letter because we all know that Taylor Swift also wrote Olivia a 10-page handwritten note. And I could only imagine what advice, what tips, what everything was included in that 10-page note. So I do think it's a really nice thing that she thought, hey, let me write back to Taylor. So now we're also sort of seeing this like pen pal relationship between the two of them. So that's just like a really nice gesture. And I can't even imagine what it must have been like for Olivia too to even perform in front of Taylor Swift. You mentioned that earlier, and it's just like I would probably pass out and like cry of like how nervous I would be.
Oh my gosh. Well, you guys, we could truly gush about Taylor and Olivia all day. But with all of that being said, we want to know what you guys think of their bond, of their relationship, this special moment. Of course, did you love Olivia's performance? Let us know all your thoughts and feelings down in the comments. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. As always, I'm your host, Fiona Zaring, joined by the wonderful Denise Salcedo. If you want to come say hi, our social handles are on the screen right now. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we will see you next time. Bye.